Hey there guys, Next Strike here back again for another video, and today we're going to be talking about Capcom, which is something that I haven't talked about for a long time, but it is something that I have been touching upon for the past, really my entire YouTube career for the most part. I've been touching on Capcom, so it's nice to see all this come around full circle. So Alpha Omega Sin recently made a video, and I figured that I would go ahead and give my 2 cents on it, and it's that Capcom has only banked 156 million. That's all they have in their reserve right now. And I find that really interesting because, after all this stuff, all the times that we've told them, hey, Capcom, listen to what we're saying, and they didn't listen, now they're finally getting their just desserts. I wish that would happen to EA and some of those other ones because they don't listen. They only listen to money. So that just goes to show you guys, Microsoft, same thing with them. They only listen to money. Capcom is finally listening because guess what? Their wallets are hurting. So, for those wondering why is it such a big thing, what the heck happened? Well, I mean, really, just to take a quick look back at what they did, I mean, look at what they did with Mega Man. 3, 4 canceled games, and then he was made fun of in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, basically. I mean, some people like that, but it was kind of a slap to the face, really. And he wasn't in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or any of the other versions of that game. He wasn't, Mega Man's just been thrown around like crazy. I mean, the creator left for obvious reasons because Capcom's abusive. And, now he's got his own little thing where he had to revive Mega Man himself, but not use Mega Man because he would, have legal problems if he tried to do that. So that'd be difficult for him. So yeah, we had Mega Man, we had Street Fighter, which, my goodness, that's been milked to death. Street Fighter Cross Tekken locking off 20, wasn't it like 20 characters they locked off, and they wanted people to pay for that? No, that's ridiculous. They had the Resident Evil crap where they took away the essence of Resident Evil, which, by the way, Resident Evil used to be one of my favorite video game series. Like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, I love both of them. 4 was the best, but Resident Evil 4 and 5, I love those. I never played the old ones. I know I'm one of those people, but I didn't want to play a game that like was quote unquote unplayable where you just play as a tank. I mean, sure, in the 90s that was cool, but now it's kind of like I don't really want to play like that anymore, But 6 was just 6 was a mess. It wasn't like a terrible game, but it was so mediocre. It just was disappointing, So yeah, we had Resident Evil, and we had the 3DS disaster thing where it's like only one save file. They tried to charge for a demo. Oh gosh, there's like 1,000 different things they've tried to do, and then they keep building upon sequel, and they keep having all these financial problems. Devil May Cry, God, Dante was just. I really hope that never comes back because now they know people like the classic Dante. They don't like that emo piece of garbage that they tried to throw at us. That's not Dante at all. So yeah, they had the Devil May Cry thing. They had all their failures of games that they've come out with this year, like Remember Me didn't do that well. Lost Planet, I still don't understand why they've been keeping that around. That game series is not that good. Gosh, there's so much stuff wrong that they've done, and people like me have complained and said, hey, Capcom, why don't you listen? And you would not believe how many people on those videos would defend Capcom. Yeah, just damage control for them. That does not do them any good. Now you people see why. You wonder why we do these rants. You wonder why we talk bad about these companies. Well, first off, it is kind of fun to make fun of them. I'm not going to say it's not, because it is fun. I enjoy it. But we try to correct their mistakes and make the world a better place by saying, hey, stop being stupid. We're not going to buy this crap if you don't stop doing this. And guess what? Everyone's finally listening. Capcom finally realizes, and it might be too late for them. So are they headed towards bankruptcy? Yes, they are headed towards bankruptcy. Now, I don't personally think that Capcom is going to just go down the drain and never, just disappear within the next year or two. But I think they're in serious trouble. And there are ways to fix this, First off, listen to the fans. This next console generation can be their final way of redeeming themselves. Because if they don't, then guess what? They're just going to have to sell off all their property so they don't, so they actually have some money still, and then they have to disband all of their assets and all that stuff. But yeah, let's hope that they don't have to go to that level. So what they really need to do to avoid this is, first off, like I said, listen to the fans. Make quality games. Do not rush the games out. Which, Capcom is a good quality studio. The games they come out with are good. The problem is just that they lock off half the stuff, or they make you charge for additional things. It's ridiculous. No one wants to do that. So don't do that, Capcom. Do not do this ridiculous thing where it's like, oh, charge for this, charge for this, charge for this. No, if it's on the disc, if it's in development, release it. Release it. People will find out. People are hackers. They find out these things. So don't be stupid and just listen to us and think about us for once. Because if you think about the customer comes back. Perfect example, Sony versus Microsoft E3. Who won E3? Sony. Why? Because they at least acted like they cared about the consumers. Microsoft continues not to. So that's their problem. So Capcom, if you learned your lesson, listen to us. Also, try making, games that people actually want. We don't want, Street Fighter is a good fighting game, but we need to take a break from Street Fighter. We need some other IPs. There are more IPs than Devil May Cry, Street Fighter, and Resident Evil. Believe it or not, you have other IPs. Utilize them. Do not just sit on them and do nothing. Mega Man. Make a new Mega Man game. Seriously, make a good platforming Mega Man game. It can be downloadable, whatever. Just make a good make a good Mega Man game. Just do it. See how many people want that. If it's good. What you were trying to do with Mega Man Legends 3 was a perfect example. That would have made so much money, but you bailed on it. And you see what happened, You just lost out. And, people lost respect for you. A lot of people have lost respect for you. I've lost respect for you. You have to earn it back. Because you are a good quality studio and you have some great IPs, some of the best IPs. So you have to utilize them, and you just have to, make quality games, utilize them, get the customers back, give things that consumers want. It's not that hard. Now, I know that they've got one next generation game coming out right now that I know of. Of course they're going to make a Resident Evil 7. I know they're already doing that, and I'm sure they'll make a new Street Fighter. But, what was I going to say? Yes, they're making Dead Rising 3 on the Xbox One. And regardless if that game is good, keeping it only on the Xbox One is not really the way to properly make a ton of money, the maximum profit. You have to think, Capcom. You got to think, how am I going to make the maximum profit? Put it on as many things as you can. So, me personally, I'm not a fan of Dead Rising. I've never cared for it. It's boring to me. Some people like it. I don't know. Regardless, it's not really like the greatest quality title out there anyway. Even if you like it, you have to admit it's not as good as, some other IPs. So I don't even know how well that game is going to do. We'll have to see, if it gets good reviews, maybe people will check it out. But I'd say a lot of people already know what they're going to think because they played the other ones. So you have to stop gambling, Capcom. You have to make games that people are going to like and people want. And you got to take back some of the IPs that people loved back in the day and they still want and they don't get. You got to do that. You could make another Marvel vs. Capcom. And you could actually make it good and make characters that people want. Now, I know that you guys tried to do that with Ultimate, and Marvel was stupid, and that's their fault. But, you guys did try and do that. So, I applaud you for that. You just went about it the wrong way. So, really, Capcom, the main thing, companies in general, they just have to understand that they have to think about the consumers if they want the consumers to think about them. Because I'm more than willing to give my money to a game and a company that's thinking out for me, or, going out of their way to please me and make a quality product. Because I do that on a yearly basis. I really do. Like, Rocksteady with their Batman games. They make quality products. So I always go and buy them because they put a lot of work. They have a lot of, little Easter eggs and all this other stuff. A lot of things to do. Pack a game full of content. If you want an example of a content fighting game, look at Injustice Gods Among Us or Mortal Kombat 9, I guess, the reboot, Mortal Kombat, the newest one. Look at games like that, see how much content is on them, and then just use that. So, Capcom, you are in serious trouble. You cannot afford to mess up. You really need to just focus your attention on making these good games and listening to the fans. You cannot be on this high pedestal where you're perfect. You just gotta think, Capcom. Just think. Think like you were back on Square One where you're making games where people want. Just do that. I'm telling you. it'll go great. And letting Mega Man be in Super Smash Brothers, that was a good idea. So just keep doing good ideas like that, and you'll get back. So now that you're finally in the hole, maybe you'll understand that. And I really wish that would happen to some other companies, like I said, because they need to be knocked down a few notches. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Capcom, you're headed towards some bad things, and I don't want to see you go. It's sad because you've been around for so long. So I want to see you succeed. So please just succeed and just listen to what the fans want, and then good things will happen. So I guess that's really all I had to say. I kind of rambled on about the same things. I mean, there is a lot to talk about, and I could go into rants, but really I've already discussed my things. Just don't do this with stupid DLC or Ultimate Editions. That is a bad business practice. Don't do that. And don't hold out on your development. If you've already got developed, don't release it as DLC later. No one likes that. Seriously, you get horrible press for that. So don't do it. Just make good games. That's all we ask. And listen to the fans. That is the most important thing you can do. It really pays off. Trust me. Get more money that way. So, that's all I had to say for now. Please chime in your 2 cents. And, yeah, I'll catch you guys later.